Hello, everyone. On the 24th, we are going to have a Virgo full moon, and this is this winter's last full moon. Full moons are about completion and fruition and harvesting, but of course, you can't harvest anything in winter. And the next full moon is going to be in the Libra Aries axis, so that is going to be the spring, the first spring full moon. I don't really know the full work of Rudolf Steiner, but as far as I remember, he considered the Virgo Pisces axis as the life axis. And unfortunately, in this respect, he wasn't right, because actually the Pisces Virgo axis is the death axis. And it's quite easy to understand why. For two reasons, actually for three reasons. First of all, if you look at the Milky Way, you will see that you have two constellations on the Milky Way, on our galaxy. One is Gemini and the other one is Sagittarius. So that is the life axis. And perpendicular to it is the Pisces Virgo axis. Pisces is the last of the zodiacal signs, so it's the completion against letting go. And then uh, Virgo is interesting because that is what housed the supergalactic center, the Virgo extragalactical supercluster, which is now at the Libra 1 degree. And it's the supergalactic center, one of the main key celestial areas in karmic astrology, which denotes the karmic dilemma of nothing is ever enough. Precisely because because that was in Virgo for 2,200 years, and what mystics and also even everyday laymen realized or experienced was some sort of sucking energy coming from that portion of the sky, where it is exactly perpendicular to our galactic plane. So that is why you can actually feel it. In Hungarian folk tales, you have many instances that denotes this energy. And interestingly enough, let's take a look at what I found years ago, and I'm really sorry that I never went to see it for myself. This is a little table, a little wooden table, which is displayed in the Islamic Museum in Vienna, I believe. I hope my mind is not, my memory is not making fun of me. And so these are the zodiacal signs. And as you can see, they are quite, so you can see this is the fish, this is Sagittarius, so this is Pisces, this is Libra, and this is Leo. You have the lion, and on top of the lion's back, you see the sun. And if you just take away the rays, they look like hair. This is how big the face is. And look at Virgo. Look behind the back of Virgo. You have this huge, enormous face looking through Virgo. That's exactly this extragalactical supercluster, which actually, as I said, acts like a sucking the energy. It really sucks out the energy of the Milky Way. You could say that it sucks out the excess energy, but it really works like a black hole, or like the powers that be that are really sucking our energies out and taking away everything that we own. That's it. That's what's happening. So this is the Virgo full moon this year, which will be exact on the 24th of February at 12:30 p.m. So exactly a little bit after noon, London. And the title I gave to this particular video is Can We Be Wise? And the reason why is because Pallas Athena, the second asteroid to be discovered, that was discovered, sorry, is exactly squaring the Sun-Moon opposition, creating a mutable T-square. But there are a lot of highlights in this particular chart. First of all, Pallas Athena is not alone. It is conjunct Lilith, the asteroid Lilith. So there are two strong feminine and independent feminine archetypes moving together. They will be moving together because they are both asteroids, so they have approximately the same travel, and they will go apart when one of them is going to turn retrograde. Of course, you have the Mars-Venus conjunction, which is has been there for quite a while, for quite a couple of days, because Mars is quite fast at the moment. You still have the Chiron North Node conjunction. Now it's separating, but still within 1 degree. This was exact on the 29th. The moon is on trans-Pluto, dimension jump. The sun is supported by Mercury, but blocked by Saturn. There will be a Sun-Saturn conjunction in like about 5-6 days time. And the Lilith Black Moon is still very, very tight. Lilith is going forward always. This is the Black Moon Lilith, the third turning point of the Lilith myth, denoting the feeling that I know what I need to do and I will go back because I have courage and also some sort of devotedness to anything, to the cause. Let's put it this way. And Juno, the first lady, is retrograde. So that's those are the main issues. Let's take a look at this mutable. This actually around between let's say 4 and 8 degrees, you have a complex planetary picture. It's wide. The reason I'm going to show it to you because this happens very often, that you have conjunctions which are either tight or not very, very tight, but applying. And then you have all kinds of complex planetary pictures which are not really closing everywhere. The orb for the separate aspects are there, but not exactly for the configurations, because for the configurations, the orb is 2 degrees for planets and asteroids and 1.5 degrees for angles, which are non-radiating points in the chart. The main two configurations are the following. There's a mutable T-square that I just told you, and interestingly enough, it is tied with the Sun, Moon, and Pallas Athena. Trans-Pluto is a little bit out of orb because it's only at 4 degrees, but still there. Lilith is at 8 degrees, 7 or 8 degrees, and Saturn is at 10 degrees. So that is why you have this multiple T-square, but not really completely closing. Saturn is closing with Lilith, but not closing with the Moon. Okay, so that's one thing. Mutable T-squares are about letting go. At the apex, you have the two strong feminine, and yes, we can let go of the winter energy. Actually, it's not yet the end of winters per se. It's not yet the end of frost and snow per se, although our weather has been wonderful this February, and I hope March will be the same. But at the same time, it's the end of the dark era or the dark period. So after the Pisces Virgo opposition, after the Virgo full moon, you usually can notice that the days are much longer, getting longer and longer. And in less than a month's time, we will have the vernal equinox, which is beautiful, which is like we are starting the light half year. Anyhow, there's also an earth water kite, although it's a little bit tight for not tight, wide for my taste, simply because dark moon Lilith is only at 3 degrees, not yet 2 degrees something. So it is closing the trine, the earth trine to trans-Pluto is closing. And the moon, of course, is separating from them. And at the same time, the sun is also separating from the sextile to dark moon Lilith. But still, it's okay. So it's a little bit wide, but it's kind of still there. And kites are much better configurations than ground trines, because with the ground trine, the problem is that you have 3 corners of the same element and they're not moving really. This particular one, dark moon Lilith, Lilith, Pallas Athena, and Moon trans Pluto are in Earth signs, which are actually Earth ground trines are the best. They could be utilized on the Earth plane for really nice purposes. And at the anchor point, you have the Sun, which adds Pisces, the water energy, to this Earth ground trine. So actually, it lifts up the whole thing. And it means that you can anchor the energy with the sun. And of course, Saturn here is in a blocking conjunction. So in a couple of days, we'll have an exact Sun Saturn conjunction. At the moment, it is blocking the energy. So that's it. And of course, you have accompanying little structures, but it's not really closing. So here we could have a mini trapeze, but we don't, because Ceres is making a sextile with Lilith, and Mars Venus is making a sextile with Saturn, but Mars Venus is not making a semi-sextile, sorry, with Ceres. So that's the problem here. Here the orb is too wide; it's more than 4 degrees, and the semi-sextile has a maximum 2-degree orb. So actually, this is a trapeze where you fall in. You don't have the top. You don't have the stage. You can't actually go on the top and say what you want. There's no soapbox in this energy pattern. Okay, let's take a look at the transcendental celestial objects. And if you like my videos, please subscribe. Please, okay, I do post a lot of Hungarian videos as well. My native tongue is Hungarian, and I have a much larger audience in Hungary than in England. Of course, there are so many English-speaking wonderful astrologers that I can't really compete with them. That is why I'm always happy when I can see that those who are watching my English versions subscribe. So please do it if you like my videos and you just disregard the Hungarian ones. There are plenty of English versions as well. And if you are new here, I'm color coding the transcendental objects. There are 3 types. One are the asteroids. Asteroids are orbiting between Mars and Jupiter, effectively linking the last personal planet Mars with the first destiny planet Jupiter. And they are giving us the personal karmic layers. They are purple or magenta. Then behind Neptune, you have the trans-Neptunians. There are many types of objects here. I call them centaurs because there are many types: centaurs and TNOs, trans-Neptunians, and SDOs, scattered disk objects, and ETNOs, extreme TNOs, all kinds of Plutinos, all kinds of ones. It's easier to call them centaurs in a bunch because they are describing our karmic wounds. And of course, wounds could turn into phobias or turn into special traits. And they are always blue on the charts. And then the fixed stars, which are not of the solar system, they are outside the solar system, out there in the universe. They are higher dimensional worlds where we can learn things, we can heal. So those are the higher vibrational energies in the chart, and they always are red. So let's take a look at this particular bunch. On the sun, you have Cerberus, who is guarding the underworld, of course, the dog, the triple-headed dog. Paracelsus, who is a polymath, and Requiem, which means pain and grief. And if you look around, this is exactly what you see. Gong Gong is a TNO, an ETNO, actually an extreme TNO with a very long orbital period. And it's a Chinese archetype who is a huge dragon or snake-like figure with a copper head and all kinds of metals on his body. And he's actually having a fight with another such monster. And during the fight, he bumps into the filament of the cosmos and creates a huge hole. So this is describing the cataclysm, the Vela cataclysm that effectively did away with Atlantis 12,000 years ago. It was a cosmic catastrophe, and Gong Gong is one of these cataclysm TNOs that describes complete annihilation. And yes, we are about 2 minutes away from complete annihilation, because cretins and idiots and dishonest, horrible people are leading the world, who are not even paying attention. They're, first of all, they're stupid, they're really dumb, or they are unable to function properly, like the American president, who doesn't even know where he is. It's really scary. Or they are just dishonest European bureaucrats, like the leaders of the EU or the NATO, and and of course, there's the military-industrial lobby, which wants to sell weapons. Of course, they hated Trump because there was no war during his presidency. There was not one single war that America was funding or functioning there. And all of a sudden, you look around and you have horrible wars everywhere and horrible um, genocide. Yes, I don't like to use this lightly, but it's horrible what's happening, and there's no the people don't really see any potential for seizing it, and I don't know what's going to happen. It's really scary, and Gong Gong on the sun really shows that we are very, very close to complete annihilation. At the same time, there's Deneb Adige, which is Alpha Cygnus, and Cygnus, the swan, the celestial swan, is one of the so-called shaman birds in the sky. The swan looks like as if it were a cross. Actually, it sometimes is called the Northern Cross, and Cygnus is flying towards the Milky Way, and Deneb Adige is its main star, the Alpha star. So we could come out of it. There is a potential to come out of this terrible situation. On the moon trans Pluto, you have Lancelot and Prudencia, prudence, one of the cardinal virtues, and Lancelot, a knight in shining armor. And on Venus Mars, you have Giza, the pyramid, the site of the pyramids. And on Ceres, you have Ixion, one of the first documented psychopaths, who is a rapist. And for us, the main issue, however, is not that he is a rapist, but that he is bound to a wheel, and this wheel is the wheel of reincarnation, that we are coming back and we are re-suffering and redoing stuff because we want to better ourselves, even when we are rapists. On Pallas Athena, you have Hidalgo, he was a priest, I think, either in the Mexican or in the Spanish War. I always mix up those two, and I never have time to look it up. But anyhow, he's a hero. He is a war hero. He's a freedom fighter on Pallas Athena. And on Dark Moon, you have Amenemhat and Hephaestus. So the first one is a pharaoh. It is a Egyptian pharaoh, a god, and Hephaestus, of course, is the lame god of Olympus. So you have two gods on Dark Moon, and Dark Moon is, of course, the second turning point in the Lilith myth, when Lilith leaves the Garden of Eden and takes upon herself Yahweh's curse. Quite interesting. Anyhow, there is also a very tight and complex planetary picture, because you have two things really happening here. One is a crown. This is only in the London chart. So you have a mystic rectangle between the angles. It's a little bit wide for my taste, but I don't know. I love the fact that we have a crown. So I realize that I'm going to show you anyway. And of course, you have the Jupiter Saturn sextile. That's the main aspect, really, which is going to be everywhere. And Jupiter and Saturn are always about how to find the proper balance. Jupiter gives everything a boost. It enlarges everything it touches, and Saturn contracts everything it touches. And the two of them are creating some sort of balance. At least a sextile tells you to create a balance. And the crown is made up by the mystic rectangle of the angles, with Saturn on the midheaven, and then Jupiter at its crown jewel position. And there's also a finger of fate. with ascendant, IC, and Mars Venus. So that's the finger of fate. At the apex of it is the Mars Venus conjunction, the balance of the feminine and the masculine. We also have a couple of, not too many transcendental objects in this. On the ascendant, you have Taureau, another fighter, a fighting energy. On the descendant, you have Osiris, another god of the underworld, and not the garter, but still. And Nunki, which is Sigma Sagittarius. It is where the celestial archer is balancing the arrow. So that's some sort of focused attention point. On the IC, you have Nix and Elliot. Elliot is one of the Big Dipper stars. So it's a northern star. It's always up in the sky. You can always take a look at it. Nix is the night. So and then Elliot is always up in the night sky. And this is so we are going back to the dark ages practically. That's what it suggests, at least for the London chart. And on Jupiter, you have Albion. And Albion is a figure, it's like an Adam Cadmon figure in William Blake's mythology. And he is cutting himself into four in order to create the four aspects of humankind. So that's also a dissection or creation through dissection. But it's very different from Sedna, because Sedna is dissected by his own father, chopped up. Her limbs and her fingers are chopped up by her own father. So there's a huge, horrible betrayal and abuse in it. Whereas in Albion, he does it for himself, by by his own volition. So that's it. And yeah, this is I already showed you this wonderful, wonderful picture of the supergalactic energy that is peeking in through Virgo's shoulders. Okay, so that's the full moon of the last full moon for this winter, the winter season. We can still have frost, we can still have cold weather, but spring is around the corner. In a month's time, less than a month's time, we are going to have the vernal equinox, and the light half of the year is going to commence very soon. That is what gives me hope, because I don't really like darkness, unfortunately. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.